the one thing I believe President Trump was the most successful thing in doing since he's become president is allowing the left to actually remove their mask and show everybody who they've truly been this entire time. They've always, encroached on, liberties or freedoms, little by little. Hate speech came out of the left. Everything's hate speech and hate crimes. I believe any crime could be considered a hate crime. You're perpetrating a crime against me. That's pretty hateful. Don't be doing that to me. And so I think for me, it was just a slow evolution of actually revealing who they truly were up to the last couple of years, where they said, screw it, took their mask off. This is who we are now. And I think growing up conservative, I listened to people like Rush and for the longest time. And, he was sounding alarm bells, way back in the 90s. Hey, these are who these people are. And nobody, everybody laughed at him and, oh, you're just blowing it out of proportion. But when it came down to it, this is who they are. They're the worst type of fascists out there. I wish just people would be able to see through the phoniness of a lot of these people. Like, for just an example, like Ocasio-Cortez, when she does her live streams on Twitter or Instagram or whatever she does them on, and she talks about how she wakes up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. in the morning worried about climate change. I'm like, really? You're waking up at 3 in the morning worrying about climate change? I don't believe you.
Said no one ever. Exactly. It's like social media, I think, is a gift and a curse. And when you talk about politics and how social media plays into that, I think it's a curse. We shouldn't even know who she is. She's a congresswoman in New York. We live in Florida. We shouldn't even know who she is. Most people know who she is, but don't know who their own congressperson is, because social media has turned politics into a reality show. Mm-hmm. All the presidential candidates, let me live stream on Instagram and look cool. They're all
how much of a regular person I am.
Right. Look at me. I'm normal. I flip hamburgers just like this. Look at me. Let me get a beer. Remember Elizabeth Warren?
Elizabeth Warren.
She's looking at the camera. Do we have Skylar watching? Oh, hi. Let me drink a beer. Here's my husband. Thank you for being here. Just super weird, cringy stuff, man. And not only that, they're showing their inability to just be relatable. They don't understand how Trump won. Trump did the social media thing just naturally. It just flowed for him. He's just like, all right, the media's not giving me a fair shake. I'm going to send this tweet. Boom. Yep. The rest was history. And he hasn't stopped. Like, Trump doesn't pander on Twitter. Trump doesn't pander to anybody. He just talks. He just talks. You either agree or you disagree.
That's why I told my wife, we were discussing Trump the other day, and I said, the best thing about Trump is, I said, it doesn't matter who's in the room. I say, he doesn't pander to anybody. Trump is Trump. Trump's going to talk to one group just like he talks to another group. He doesn't change it. I said, and you juxtapose that to how the Democrats are in front of certain crowds. You'll have people like Hillary Clinton. I got my hot sauce in my purse, and then she tries to throw on her fake Southern accent, or they try to sound black, like a black Southern. And I'm like, guys, stop. Just stop.
I know, it's so insulting. Or when they spoke Spanish at the debates.
Oh, I remember that.
Why are you doing this? It's horrible. It's just the most painful thing ever to watch. Them talking in Spanish, talking in certain accents. Cory Booker all up in the Kool-Aid but don't know the flavor. It's like, bro, you gotta chill with all this, because it's really fake. It shows what you think of people, and it shows how plastic and phony you are. It's just a shape-shifting mechanism. That's what they do all the time. But you're right. Trump doesn't pander. Trump is not going to pander. He talks to everybody exactly the same. He will hurl the same insult. You can argue, oh, that's a mean thing to say. Doesn't matter if he calls Omarosa a dog or if he calls Kellyanne Conway's husband a dog. He's calling people he doesn't like a dog. You can debate and say he's wrong for saying it, but you can't say, oh, he's doing it because he just doesn't like blacks or he hates women. But that's what they do. It just plays into his hand with the identity politics. It is their religion. They love identity politics. They need it to thrive. They can't survive without drawing distinctions between immutable characteristics and then using it for political gain. And they create this victimhood hierarchy. And then the higher up you are on that hierarchy, the more immune to criticism you are. You think about Ilhan Omar is the most insulated person I've ever seen from criticism. The only thing that could make her more insulated is if she were LGBT. She's
Oh,
immigrant. She's an immigrant. She's a woman. She's a person of color, and she believes in a certain religious doctrine that I'm not gonna even say on here because we're not allowed to. Like
no.
this video is probably getting demonetized anyway, so I might as well.